welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Gharat, and here is wishing you all a happy new year. As we all start making our fitness resolutions for the year, we are delighted to have with us Neelendra Singh, the General Manager of Adidas India. Adidas has always been at the forefront of sportswear innovation and sustainability, and today we are discussing some exciting developments with him. From the brand's evolving strategy in India to driving jersey culture to its outlook for 2025, investment in local production and its focus on empowering women in sports. Listen into this special chat. At the Adidas flagship store in Mumbai, I'm catching up with Neelendra Singh, General Manager, Adidas India. Neil, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you, Shibani.
What are some of the factors do you think that has contributed to, your focus and attention in the country? How do you want to position today in the India market?
Distribution is key. I guess India is so huge that to reach the last fan or the last consumer, the distribution for our products has to be wide enough. And therefore, through a combination of our own doors, our own stores, franchise stores, our own e-commerce website, our partners, e-com partners like Myntra, Flipkart, Amazon, and through partners like Shoppers Stop or Metro Shoes, we ensure that Adidas products at the right price point reach the best consumer or the right consumer in the right distribution, let's put it this way. And that's an important aspect because we would rather be where the consumer is, wherever she is in the country. The other aspect of this is getting the product right. As a global brand, we have the, we have the authority and the empowerment in India to make the right product for the right consumer. Our global range is huge. We make thousands of articles that befit different consumers in different parts of the world. And we bring those ranges to India. We recently talked about Samba, ZNE, etc. They're a part of the global range. Where it gets interesting is that for some part of our distribution and some part of middle class, India, we make in India. And that's the other aspect. So we do a fair amount of localization in India through our products. So there are price points that might not be available in the global range, but are made in India, designed in India, and sometimes made in India for India. Yeah. And the final aspect of this is just the getting the messaging right, using the right platforms of sport, athletes, so that we are relevant for the Indian consumer. Partnership with BCCI is a good example of leveraging cricket to reach deep into India. Leveraging Indian athletes to tell the global stories is another example of where the story or the campaign is global, but the faces and the athletes we use are local. Yeah. Once again, through distribution, product and marketing campaigns, we believe we have the best, let's say, combination to reach the best consumer.
Yeah, and I would like to pick up one line that you said, just now, is you want to reach where the consumer, where she is. So for like a sporting brand like Adidas, when it comes to women in sports, what is, the current landscape? If you can give us an understanding, what is, and how does Adidas want to tap into this space of women in sports in the country? You're wearing the India team jersey, I can see, which was launched with the women's cricket team. So tell us more.
If you look at the core of sport, sport is equal. Sport doesn't distinguish between men and women. But as far as women are concerned, globally, both participation and the challenge, there are less women who participate into sport. There's also a massive dropout rate. There are twice as many girls at the age of 14 who drop out versus boys. Variety of reasons. Sometimes access, security, cost, social stigma, lack of, let's say, role models. So all of this, I guess, contributes to lesser women, relatively speaking, reaching the top. From a brand perspective, like I said, it's equal for us. So whenever we partner with teams like BCCI or Arsenal or Man U or any rugby team or football team, we work both with the men's and the women's team. I think that's our responsibility, to bring the same weight to both the genders as far as partnerships are concerned. I still think it's early days in India. We believe the platform of Adidas is fantastic to to bring some great stories from Indian athletes, Indian women athletes, to be able to inspire the next generation of sport or next generation of consumers. We recently launched the ODI jersey with Harmanpreet. The women's team will also wear it before the men's team.
How is Adidas encouraging, more and more participation of women in sports through some of your grassroots programs or something that you have in mind going forward?
So at two levels, Shivani. First of all, I think more than 2/3 of our athlete partnerships in India are women. So more than 2/3 are women, and some really strong athletes like Mirabai Chanu, Nikhat, Lavlina, Jyoti Araji, Hima Das was there. So at this level, we believe when we partner with them, and through their stories, we are able to inspire somebody in the country.
So representation of women, as your ambassadors also plays
a huge role
in encouraging.
One of the factors a lot of young girls drop out of sport is that they don't see credible role models. We believe as, let's say, Mirabai or Nikhat tell their stories through the platform that Adidas provides, they are, I'm sure, inspiring somebody to take on sports because their stories are very similar. There are stories of breaking barriers. Their stories are about, perseverance and reaching the best they could. So, and therefore we get very excited when we provide that platform to our elite women athletes. So that's one level. The other level is grassroots. Through our CSR initiatives, we have a couple of partners. One partner comes to my mind, Indian Track Foundation. So Indian Track Foundation has a mission of scouting raw talent in tribal India, mostly girls, who they believe can eventually become elite athletes. And then they, after scouting them, there's a regimen or years of training on, of course, the physical training, nutrition, education, family support. And we believe that's a classic case of someone who's passionate about scouting raw talent and then bringing them along and their families along so that they win medals. The output is, and that's how we measure sometimes, the stories are no doubt extraordinary, but the output is also exciting. I might not have the full data, but those kids eventually over years of training have won variety, hundreds of gold medals, silver medals, bronzes in national and district level games. So again, in summary, at the elite level, inspiring through stories that our elite can tell, and at the ground level, making sure we partner with the right associations.
Neil, also give us insights or perspective on, you working with some of these cricketers, women cricketers, for the jersey, and, what are some of their stories, their needs, their requirements when it comes to women in sports? You should have definitely many insights there.
We strongly believe the product, the jersey, needs to, check the performance box, but also the style box. The athlete, she should be, of course, it will help her in performance, but she should also feel good about wearing it. So our insights are largely around, we've done a fair amount of discussion with all our athletes, trying to figure out what do they want. Cricket has different performance needs than, let's say, football or taekwondo in that sense. And therefore, structuring the product to meet the performance needs is one angle. The other angle is to make sure that it looks good or when they get on the field. Therefore, integration of design elements, making sure the tricolor is part of the let's say, the garment. These are all insights that came through conversations with athletes. And then further, there's a further nuance where each athlete is different. Some of them want a shorter length, some of them want a tighter sleeve, and that's also very exciting because you tend to think that one jersey should fit all of them, but not necessarily. They all have unique nuances, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, last time we spoke, Neil, I remember that, you mentioned how your aim is to drive jersey culture in India, and that was just about the time when you had announced your partnership with BCCI.
Yes.
So over the past year and a half, how has that panned out?
Oh, very exciting. You broke it first. You were the first person we spoke to when we announced the BCCI partnership. But very exciting, Shibani, because on many accounts, first of all, I believe we got the product right. Indian athletes did not have access to such beautiful product, and both performance and style. So you've seen that, you must have seen over the last 1.5 years, we've seen This is the third generation of jersey, the second generation of the ODI jersey, and there have been two T20 jerseys as well. In 2025, we will launch the new Test jersey as well. So I think on one account, the most exciting part has been to create a jersey which our athletes can wear. I just said it, integrating the three stripes and the tricolor is both a challenge and excitement. So that's turned out very well. The other interesting thing has been, again, the thesis has been, Shabani, that we have to go to the fan and not necessarily expect the fan to come to us. And therefore, we've been able to distribute this jersey product far and wide. So again, through our stores, through our websites, through our partners. So it's available into deepest parts of India.
I saw it on the Q-commerce platforms around the T20 World Cup as well.
Yes, and I'll come to that. And you know, the thesis was that, you know, the use case is very clear. Let's say today is your match, and you don't have the jersey yet. It might just be too late for you to get to the store, or it might be just too late for us to deliver if you order on the e-commerce platforms. And that's when Q-commerce comes in really handy, and they can deliver jerseys in 10 minutes. And we sold thousands of jerseys last year, only the Q-commerce platform. Yeah. The interesting part there is actually also the other insight was the pricing.
Correct.
At two levels.
Because I saw it was available from 990 to 5,000 plus.
True. So two price points. Yeah. One at the authentic jersey at 5,999, and the other one is 999. So, and we believe at 999 we can distribute the product deep and wide. It could be somebody's first Adidas product. I strongly believe, Shabani, that on the day of the match or when you're supporting your team, the fan will express herself or himself. The question is, is the brand able to put the right product on the
Absolutely.
fan? Because if the product is not available through either accessible through price point or through distribution, then there are a fair amount of other alternatives available for the fan to wear. So our urgency is to get the right product to the consumer, because we strongly believe she will express herself for her team on that day.
And was this something that you did unique to India? Because otherwise, globally, you don't see an Adidas jersey, let's say, for any other football team for that matter, at a higher price point and then at a lower price point.
So we do the authentic jerseys and the replicas and the fan jerseys, but the price points are very different, Shivani. We haven't done a 999 equivalent anywhere in the world, and that's why India is so unique. Sure. And understanding the Indian consumer and the psyche is quite nuanced in that sense. So the template would still be the same to get the authentic jersey, the replica, and the fan. But at what price points do we offer to the Indian consumer? That's quite nuanced.
What are some of the categories that are performing well for you guys in the country?
So on a very large scale, we have a very strong momentum, Shibani. We've had a fantastic summer of sport this year.
With the Olympics.
With the Olympics. Yeah. Adidas showed up like never before in that sense. Our athletes broke a tremendous amount of records. Euro was won by an Adidas-sponsored team. Copa America was won by an Adidas-sponsored team. The T20 World Cup was won by India, again an Adidas-sponsored team. So there's a lot of momentum today for Adidas and for sport in general. And therefore, getting the product right, getting the marketing message right, and getting the distribution right is the broad brush answer of what's the strategy. On a nuanced level, there are certain categories that are really doing very well. And this is where I believe India is coming of age slowly. You're a prolific runner. Running is a massive category. Our range of shoes, right from the Adi Zeros at the tip of the pyramid to more affordable or more everyday running shoes, are doing very well. Supernova is a good example if you've heard of them. So running is going very well. Originals is our range, which is fashion inspired from sport. Massive runway and massive growth trajectory already. Yeah. Samba is the case in point. Samba has been named the best sneaker a few months ago, I guess. That's doing very well here. Football is also very interesting. Football, the current 10-year-old today, Shibani, watches more football sometimes than they watch cricket. They are bigger fans of Messi and other stars than sometimes local stars. So football business also is on a high. We have some of the best clubs in the world, and and there we have a clear right to win. Those products are only available in our distribution.
Yeah.
So football, originals, running, sportswear is also very interesting. We have a layer under the performance sports. We have a category called sportswear, which is meant for the athlete, but not on the pitch, but off the pitch.
Sure.
ZNE is a good example.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful range called ZNE, which also performed very well. So you hear about, and we talk about how India is premiumizing. Like I said before, those examples are quite visible in our business as well as our premium categories, where Adidas has a very clear point of view and right to win. They are growing very, very fast.
Sure. Typically, I have seen when brands dial up cricket, they dial down everything else. So has that happened to you, like, with the association and partnership with BCCI, that you've dialed down like a couple of sports? Because I saw, like, Adidas was very much into running like a couple of years ago, but sort of dialed down right now.
Interesting question. Not necessarily. Share of voice, maybe, because we've been promoting cricket, and it was the first year last year, and therefore many of our campaigns were cricket-led, let's put it this way. But from a category perspective and proportion of the sales perspective, not necessarily.
Yeah.
In fact, cricket gives us a very strong platform to elevate other categories. For example, recently you would see a lot of our cricketers are wearing Supernova on training. So if you find them in the nets, they are playing with Supernova, or they're training with Supernova, which is one of our best running shoes.
What is the current market share of Adidas in the country as compared to the other sportswear brand? Also, given the fact that many of the fast fashion brands like, your H&M and all, they are getting into athleisure category as well, given the boost that we saw around the pandemic towards athleisure.
Two things are important. First, we've been growing, so we believe we're gaining share versus everybody else. I hope at some point of time there's enough secondary data available so that we can measure all brands equally. But currently there's no market share data available. But I guess to your point around other brands bringing athleisure, it only helps us because it broadens the category. It helps somebody get into the world of fitness. If not through Adidas, through some other brand, which is fine, absolutely.
And one day you hope that they will move.
They will upgrade, yeah. So, so I think a good case in point always is sometimes fast fashion brands. Decathlon's done a brilliant job in India, and I guess a lot of such brands only recruit more consumers into the space of fitness, sport, etc. And there's no doubt about it that when the consumer would want to get a little more technical, want to invest into let's say a more technical shoe or a pair of shoe or apparel, they would upgrade into the best brands who have the most credibility in that space, and Adidas is one of them.
Yeah, and what are the key focus areas that you have for 2025, if you can elaborate on that?
We'll bring more production to India. Nearshoring is a real thing in many parts of the world. We believe India is ready to host manufacturing capabilities for more technical shoes. So apart from what we do on the sales and marketing side, we will also now bring more production capabilities into India, and that's, I guess, is a part of a bigger strategy, so that we are far more, I would say, independent. We're far more near-shored, and we can respond faster to trends because it'll be eventually produced in India. Many parts of our range are already produced in India. So Samba, for that matter, is made in India already, and that would be a unique part of the business.
So bolstering production capabilities. What about store presence? Do you want to expand your store presence in the country? And Adidas was, in fact, one of the first sportswear brand to have a very refined app of its own, which was launched many years ago. So tell us more. How has that helped?
So all helped tremendously. So yes,
store presence
will increase. So we have about 350 odd stores through our franchise partners. We have about 75 plus stores which are run by ourselves. That makes it about 430 stores. That will keep growing.
How to which cities? What is the number that you are looking at by the end of 2025?
Yeah, I won't fancy a number yet, because sometimes it's dependent on which cities are ready or not. But one thing is very clear, Shivani, that the opportunity is endless. We believe we tell the best stories when we own the space through our franchise partners or our own stores. So stores expansion will continuously be a part of the agenda. In top tier cities, we would continue to look at AAA locations, best trading zones, wherever we can expand. or improve our real estate. So if it's a smaller store, can it be a bigger store?
Yeah.
From a penetration to lower tier cities, I guess we are already present in 150 cities, but cities in India, there are many more where we can go. There are a lot of cities that are ready now for their second store in that city. So that let's say part of distribution will continue. You talked about an interesting thing. The app and the website is very interesting. Our app is very compelling. It's very personalized. The quality of assets or the quality of the content is very, very good, and it has helped us tremendously in bringing Adidas and the branded content much closer in a much more personalized way to our consumers. And through a combination of our website and app, we also going to link our stores in a matter of, let's say, a few months. Therefore, almost completing the omni-channel journey in many ways. So you should be able to log onto the app, but shop in the store, and all of that will happen eventually.
Yeah. And you complete 5 years, after moving back to India in 2019, in 2024. What have the past few years been like for you on a personal front? A lot of highs and lows, like you joined, there was pandemic after that, you recovered, signed this partnership with BCCI. So tell us more.
Oh, never been a dull day. Can never be a dull day. But very exciting, Shivani. I think India is fascinating on many accounts. In the first 2 years, you're right. First couple of years went in just managing the impact of COVID, making sure everybody stays healthy, making sure that the business is in a reasonably good shape despite, let's say, the effects of the pandemic. But it also gave us the opportunity to reset some parts of the business. That's when we realized that the power of digital, and therefore we were able to pivot in a stronger way on the digital side. That's also the time when we brought our global tech suite, so the app, CRM program, the website, all of that got refreshed in 2021. So I guess the first half of the 5 years, if I may, were about, let's say, responding to COVID and resetting the business. The last half of the 5 years is growing the business at a very, very, let's say, fast pace, making sure we keep our ears on the ground, we understand the consumer, we localize more, we take some big swings in terms of, let's say, partnership with BCCI and making sure that we stay completely relevant to sport and to the local market, and just enjoying in hindsight, just enjoying the power of a mega brand, executing, let's say, commercially in a marketplace which has tremendous runway in that sense. And it gives me a lot of joy, especially on the cricket jersey. I think that has been my personal highlight in the last couple of years, because I genuinely feel that India, there'll be a day where the jerseys will be, everybody will wear the jersey, even if there's a match or not. It happens quite a bit in the West. But I guess we'll be at it forever. I believe that's the best part of working in India and working with Adidas.
Great. Lovely speaking with you, Neel.
Likewise. Thank you.
And that wraps up today's interview with Neelendra Singh of Adidas India. Stay tuned in for more updates on how global brands are shaping the future of business. Goodbye.